pocket nines on table 2. I open from the cutoff and I face a 3-bet from the button. Now, this guy's playing at a bunch of my tables, and although I only have 30 hands on him, there's a couple of things that I can kind of discern. One of them is he is playing at a bunch of my tables, so he's much more likely to be a regular. Since I sat down at 3 random tables and a bunch of them, I sat down at 4 random tables and he's playing at 3 of them. I can only assume that he's also going to be playing at a couple of other tables. He seems to be playing with a full stack, and he seems to have auto top off on, which is another kind of tell that he might be kind of reggish. Next, when I 3-bet, or when I raise, he 3-bets me to a pretty standard amount too. So those 3 things, even though I only have 30 hands on him, make me think that he is going to be he's not going to be a fish. He's going to be he's gonna know the basics of pre-flop play and post-flop play, etc. So taking that a step further, he will know that when I open from the cutoff, he should be 3-betting pretty wide on the button.
Yeah, I mean, I think I completely agree with you on all those items. I think that another pretty telling item that he is a regular is he's got his auto top off kind of locked in. So the fact that he's got basically exactly $25 or exactly 100 BBs or slightly more is pretty telling as well, because there's not really even if he was kind of that oddball multi-tabling fish, I don't necessarily think that means I don't think a multi-tabling fish even knows to top off.
Right.
But I think your assessment is absolutely correct. I think assuming that he's a regular is absolutely true. And I think that, we can kind of disregard how many hands we have on him, which is only 30. As with a regular, I think that it takes so much longer for regulars' tendencies to kind of merge in and kind of come to fruition, I guess, in the long run of statistics. That I really think we don't know too much. So I wouldn't even make the assumption that he's kind of passive-ish call-y, just because based off of him being a 28-10. I don't even think you can make that assumption.
Right. Now, given that I expect him to be 3-betting me with a pretty wide range here, I decide that I'm going to make a 4-bet. I think 9s are going to be good enough to... Well, I should begin by saying I'm not crazy about calling with the 9s. And given how wide I expect someone to be 3-betting my cutoff opens from the button, I'm not crazy about folding either. So,
okay, I mean, my thought here is a pretty simplistic approach to this. And I agree with you for the most part that calling is probably not that good here out of position. 4-betting is probably relatively standard. Folding is certainly standard as well. And in this situation with so little known about a regular, well, let me back up real quick. I think one of the bigger leaks that regulars make is kind of this over adjustment before you have any reason to believe that he's doing this kind of stuff lightly, where we kind of, just because we assume he's a regular, we assume that he's going crazy 3-betting on the button, and then then we assume that when we 4-bet, that it'll be a neutral or profitable situation if you were to 5-bet jam and we had to get it in with 9s. Where I think that's probably where you start really jumping the gun without any information whatsoever.